Hundreds of thousands of Muslim migrants have sought a better life in Europe. Pakistani Faisal Javed became a Christian after he arrived in Sweden.
I don't have any more belief in Islam.
Faisal fell in love with Eka, a Christian woman from the country of Georgia, who introduced him to Christ. He was baptized last April, but unlike many other migrants, Faisal soon faced rejection from his host country. The word is out. If you're a Muslim and you're from Syria, you're welcome here in Sweden. There's an open border. But if you're a Christian and you're from Pakistan, you may as well pack your bags and go home. The Swedish Migration Board issued a deportation order against Faisal and his family. Faisal would be sent back to Pakistan, his wife and daughter to Eka's home country of Georgia. Eka could barely talk to us about her plight. She tearfully told us she wants her family to remain together in Sweden. Not only would deportation separate a family, but it would also endanger Faisal's life, because Muslims now consider him to be an apostate.
If we will be deported, our family, relatives, friends, and everyone, they just think this is their responsibility to kill us. We want just to save our life. I want to stay with my family.
They didn't care whether he was a convert or not. And the practice here in Sweden has so far been that no Christians from Pakistan need any protection.
Faisal's lawyer, Gabriel Downer, sued the Swedish government, charging it had violated European Union rules that require protection for Muslims who convert to Christianity. He says the court agreed.
So the court said, this can't be done, and sent everything back to the migration board and said, you have to do your homework and do this properly this time.
Eventually, Faisal and his family may be allowed to stay in Sweden.
As long as Faisal can prove that he is a true believer, he's safe.
But how does Faisal prove his conversion is sincere, that he didn't just pose as a Christian to get asylum? His pastor, Joel Bachman of Elam Church, sent a letter to the Migration Board. He admits gauging faith is difficult.
How do you determine my faith, and how do I determine yours? So we write what we can, and that is the visible things. They come to church, they pray, they're part of our Bible studies, they're part of our ministry as a whole. I mean, that's what we can say to the government. And we can throw in like an assessment. I believe this is sincere.
We pray that this family will be able to stay in this country, and I pray that you will just continue to grow their faith.
Before Elam, Faisal attended a house church led by Gabriel Blad. He says Swedish Migration Board officials have trouble distinguishing between relationship and religion. They'll often ask Christian converts technical questions.
We have got very strange questions sometimes. They have asked about liturgical colors and things like that, and they don't know those things. If you have been meeting in a simple home, discovering Jesus together, read the Bible and discovered Jesus, they don't know about church traditions. Nothing. They know about Jesus. They love Jesus.
And in another case, one Pakistani's love for Jesus nearly cost him his life. Former teacher Herman Fernandez, who changed his name from a Pakistani one, taught Western ideas to students in northwest Pakistan. That's when he started having difficulties with hardline Muslims.
I got threats from two students who their parents were imams in the area.
What did they say? What was their concern? They felt you're instilling Western ideas?
And that you are a kafir and you are bringing kafir thoughts to our society.
In addition to being called a kafir, someone who has rejected Islam, Herman was also accused of being an American spy because he assisted some Western organizations. He said he and two colleagues were kidnapped in September 2011. Herman claims he witnessed their murder.
On the second or third day, they beheaded one of my colleagues.
One of the two guys that were with you, one of them?
Yeah. So, and they forced me to watch it. And yes, I have to live. I'm trying to get over this, yeah. But
he said a second colleague was beheaded several days later. The murder was videotaped. He said eventually one of his captors helped him escape. Afterwards, he fled to Sweden, where the Migration Board denied his asylum request.
They don't see that my life is in such a danger in Pakistan.
And if you are deported, what will happen to you?
What can I say? They would get me either from the airport or they would, that would be the last of me.
Gabriel Donner also represents Herman. He wants the Swedish government to do a better job of considering the plight of Pakistani Christians when deciding cases like Faisal and Herman.
Give them the same benefit of the doubt as they are giving today to other refugees coming into Europe.
Gary Lane, CBN News, Stockholm, Sweden.